Hello everyone, my name is Debashish and I welcome you all to this video. So in this video, we are going to see how can we set a breakpoint at certain Windows API using Winappdbg. So before we start this process with Winappdbg, first we are going to see how can we set a generic breakpoint using any Windows debugger. So for that, we are going to use normal debugger WinDBG, which is default Windows debugger, and we are going to set a breakpoint at a Windows API which is known as message box. So when you try to search any string on Notepad, as you can see, it actually calls message box API and it shows this message whether it has found that particular string or not. So we are going to set a breakpoint as at message box API. So let's see. Now the process is running. Let's start WinDBG and let's attach it to the Notepad process. As you can see, it is running. Now we are going to set a breakpoint at user 32 oxw. So now the breakpoint is set. This API is exported by user 30.dll and now we'll continue execution. Now if you just go to Notepad and type something and try to search this, maybe, as you can see, the UI has stuck and you can see that that breakpoint has triggered like this. Now you can continue execution. So we are going to do the exact same thing using Winappdbg. So I have already created a basic script to kind of show you how it works. We are just going to go through it and see how it is. So let's get started from line number 17. So as you can see here, we are creating a debug object, Winappdbg object, and we are basically launching a program using debug.execv API, Winappdbg API, and the program is holding the full image path of notepad.exe. So we're going to pass this program to execv and it is going to run this API. Now, just like the previous video, as you can see, I have set a event handler here. So this is kind of a callback function. So what we are doing inside this event handler, so as you can see, we are passing event object that you always have to do, and we are getting that event code using in this line. So now the code will be holding the event code that has occurred, and now we are adding a simple check here whether the event code is related to DLL load. So how do you find other debug event code? That I have already shown you. You can go to this particular repository and here you will find all the debug event code. As you can see here, uh, this is DLL load debug event is 6. So now I have added a if clause here with if when any DLL is being loaded into that notepad.exe process which we have started, we are going to come to this portion. So what we are doing here now, so basically we are looking for uh, that event where it tries to load user30.dll. We are doing it here. If module.match name user30.dll, we are going to come here. So now after that, once notepad.exe is trying to load user30.dll, we are going to get the PID of that address, and after that we are trying to resolve the address of message box WAPI. So we do it, this is how we do it. Module.resolve message box W, and the address will be holding the address of message box W when the user30.dll is loaded. Now we are simply setting a breakpoint using event.debug.break at this. Now we have to pass the PID, we have to pass the address of message box W, and we have to define a callback function as well. So whenever the breakpoint is reached or triggered, this particular function, which is right here, my create file breakpoint handler, is going to trigger, and we are going to print whether print that user 32 message box w triggered. So this is a very simple script. I mean, I thought of actually tr- I thought of trying to explain to you, how does it work instead of writing it from the scratch in this video. So let's see when we run it, how does it behave. So if we do Python break, as you can see, it has already set the breakpoint at user 32 message box. Now we have to we'll try to trigger the message box call. How do you do that? We do it in the exact same manner. Edit, find, and find next. As you can see here, that message box API, we are getting that string user 32 message box w triggered, which means the breakpoint has hit, which is right here. So that's what I wanted to discuss in this video. I hope you have find this video useful. Uh, so I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.